Alrighty folks, a little bit of a different video today. Day 5 on the epic journey from Florida to Oshkosh, all on a butt van. It was a great day in the flight. I covered a lot of ground. I wasn't able to get out as quickly as possible. Didn't get out of the French Lick Airport till I think it was like 10 something in the morning. And the really sad part is I lost all of the head cam video, which also had my audio from my Cena headset. So the SD card corrupted before I could save the videos, and sorry. Anyway, I got some footage from the selfie cam, and I'll roll that and narrate the video as we go. And there's a little bit of ground video. Anyway, a couple of exciting things happened, so let's roll with that. Hey folks, so I'm here in the FBO at the French Lick Airport. Anyway, still stuck here. The weather is absolute junk. They're reporting overcast 300, and it looks more like overcast 150 out there. The winds, there's not much wind on the ground. There's probably like 3 or 4 knots on the ground. But the winds are pretty much crosswind now, and later they're turning to headwind and supposed to pick up in velocity. Weather, not a whole lot better, but it's starting to raise. We've still got a little breeze here coming pretty much due west, coming right down runway 8 here. But you can see it's not a whole lot. So I'm feeling like I need to get going, but I don't want to make any unwise decisions. Clouds are still pretty low, talking about 300 to 500 feet, but we're kind of up on a hill that's above field elevation. So about 10 miles to the northwest, we get into some pretty flat plains. And there's a valley that I can follow out that way and kind of stay below the hilltops, hopefully get shielded from the wind a little bit, to kind of punch through. And then I should be able to turn more northward and head north. The further you go north, the better the weather gets. So I'm gonna get ready. I'm not sure if I'll take off right away. I may, I've been talking to the airport manager in here. He's great guy, helping me out a lot, and he's kind of recommending that I kind of take off and survey a little bit, see if it looks good to be able to kind of valley run through here. So, which I love valley running. I think it's just fun, like crazy. So we'll see. I'd love to do that. It's certainly a great way to feel the weather. It's just a touch chilly. Well, it's not really cold. It's kind of damp, and it's cooler for sure. So I'm gonna get dressed better for the occasion and fuel up my tanks. I'll grab my bladder tank also, just so that way if I've got headwinds, I'm probably gonna have to fly for 4 or 5 hours. So we'll see. We're gonna push on as we get north. The ceilings raise, weather gets better, winds pick up in the wrong direction. Talking about 3,000 feet, like 15 knots against us. Surface, like 6 knots against us. So I'll probably hang down like right on the ground. But nice thing is, everything out there is sparsely populated area. Just to the northwest, it's all plains and agricultural land. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking right now. So I'm gonna get things ready and catch up in a second. Okay, so getting out of the French Lick Airport, it proved to be pretty interesting. The visibility and the ceilings were pretty low. I was VFR. I was able to get out about 10 o'clock. For the next 20 miles, it was really, really cruddy weather. Took some collapses, and just I was looking forward to getting out of there. But before I left, this guy who you are now seeing flying behind me had messaged me and said, "Hey, Bo, I'll meet you at the Clay County Airport there." He's a local there, flies from that airport. Said, "Hey, I'll bring you some food or something, and we'll just hang out for a second." So he met up with me. We had a good time. It was really nice to see a fellow paramotor pilot. This guy was a really experienced cross-country pilot. Also flies a Sirocco 2, as you can see there. He's got the one size up from what I had, 22 meter there. And so we met up and flew around, he flew out about 5 miles for the last few miles with me there. That's a cell phone shot that I got of him in front of me. So yeah, that was nice to meet him. He gave me some good tips and pointers of flying around that area. As you can see, the landscape here is really, really flat. It was pretty thermic. It wasn't bad. It was actually really great cross-country flying conditions here. So here you see me pull out my phone and actually take a picture of my gas tank. That's how I checked my fuel along the route. And you can see there ain't much left in there. So the reason for this was I had headwinds on this flight and pretty much ran out of gas here. My engine actually shut off before I got to the airport there. You'll see that in a second. But yeah, got there to the airport, launched out of there. Unfortunately, I didn't get to launch. That's one of those videos that had corrupted on the SD card. So we'll catch you on the ground here, and then Bo from the future will be back at the Danville Airport.
How was it? Awesome. Awesome. You come a long way, dude.
It was, this last flight was pretty interesting.
Was it? It seemed pretty thermic up there at times.
My engine
Quit?
involuntarily shut off.
I was wondering, because I knew you would be low on gas. I was like, that's a long way, even with 5 gallons in this wind.
Okay, so Trey and I had a good time there on the ground. He gave me some tips and pointers and sent me on my way, and I am heading up to the Danville Airport now. So it was pretty much nothing but cornfields and cornfields and cornfields. Every once in a while I would get this urge. I just had to do something other than fly straight and level, so I would like half wing over down to the ground and fly along the ground. Plus, whenever I had a headwind, a severe headwind or a crosswind, it helps sometimes to get right down on the deck. It's usually a calmer breeze down there. So continued right up to the Danville Airport, and interestingly enough, I accidentally put in the wrong identifier. Well, it wasn't a wrong identifier. It was just, if you leave out the K in the identifier code of an airport, it will take you sometimes to the VOR instead of to the airport. So this airport had a VOR that was like 5 miles away from the airport. So I actually flew past the airport, had to turn around and fly back to the airport. That was a funny mistake, but I won't forget it next time. So this was some of the most beautiful country out there. I loved flying over the farmland. Nothing but just flat openness. I think I like the farmland more than like the mountains and stuff, just because of the extra security it gave me. But it did get boring at times, and so I would, keep going in the same general direction and climb up and then do some turns and come down, fly right along the deck. You can see there's like this little creek, dried up creek thing here, and that's what I was going down for. I had to fly along it. Those little creeks were a ton of fun to fly along. Just cruising along here all the way through Illinois, going up to the Danville Airport. You can see here, I mean, speed can be made up by proximity, and this wasn't some very tall corn, but flying through the cornfields like this was just a blast. I loved it. We got the gear here sitting in the shade of the tower, and we're gonna go check out the pilot lounge. Jacob's just chilling over there in his car. Okay, so our next destination here was up to the Dwight Airport. So it was pretty much cornfields and windmills all the way to Dwight, and when I got there I still had a little bit of daylight left, but was not able to continue flying just because I didn't have enough daylight to get to my next destination, and there really wasn't a good spot that I could find to like stop and camp other than an airport. So I just hung tight there at Dwight and took off the next day. So man, check out that sunset with them windmills in the distance. That's gorgeous. Alright, catch you next time on day number 6, heading up to the Dwight Airport. Leaving from the Dwight Airport. We had to get delayed by another thunderstorm, struggle with headwinds, land in a field after having some great tailwinds actually, and land in a field backwards because I couldn't get back to the airport. The winds were so strong, they actually pushed me backwards. I was right out there by Chicago. Wonder why it's called the Windy City. Anyway, from those pop-up straight line winds, they were not forecasted. We'll get into that more tomorrow. But for now, I want you guys to keep guessing what is in that shipping container out there. If you have an idea, leave a comment below. We've got one more video after this one. I'm going to work really hard in the next couple of weeks to try to recover that head cam footage. If I can, I'm going to see if I can get it off that SD card and stuff, because I've got some good footage of landing in the field, the cornfield, trudging out of there, and also going into Oshkosh. So our next video is going into Oshkosh, then we're going to have like an overview video, and then the Oshkosh series is complete. So till then, catch you next time. Like the video if you do, please subscribe if you hadn't, and have a great day, happy flying, keep going.